All right, so this video is going to set you up for the lab write-up on Father Brown for the Father Brown lab. All right, so let me share my screen real quick. You have access to this. Let me see. Father Brown checklist. All right, so this is already on Schoology. Oh, I lied. This is not it. This is already on Schoology. All right, the checklist. So just go under the motion one dimension folder, and then the Father Brown formal lab checklist is right here. Okay, so we're going to walk through this, kind of give you a description of what you should be doing. You're going to do um, one lab write up per group. So if you want, you can assign different sections to each person, or you can kind of work together, whatever the group kind of feels like. All right. So the format should do this. So, regular fonts, 12 points, normal stuff. Okay. Don't come with all kinds of crazy stuff. Don't be wasting space, stuff like that. Okay. Nice, neat. Remember, this is like a formalized lab report. So on the first title page, I know it's not on there, just have, the title of the lab, kind of center it in the page, title lab, Father Brown, constant velocity lab, the class period, and then the names of your, whoever's in the group. Okay. That's the whole first page. So skip to the next page. So this is at the top of page 2. I should see abstract or purpose or whatever. So that should be the first title. Each one of the titles should be bold and underlined. Do not make them the same size that's on this checklist, but I'm just saying 12 font, bold, underline, return down, remove the bold underline, and then start writing your abstract. So basically, the abstract is a very simple paragraph max, one paragraph max, and all you're describing is actually what was done, what were you looking for, and then you can include some key results. Okay, so in this case there's only one result, so you could include that if you wanted at the end. It's very simple. Don't overthink this. Don't include too much. It's just literally what we were doing, what you were observing, and then kind of any key results here. Okay. Super easy section. The next section. This is one of the areas, and this is worth one of the areas that's worth some points here, is the introduction in theory. So again, after the abstract, hit enter, then bold underline, introduction theory, hit enter, remove bold underline. So what you want to do here is this is basically like the research you need. We talked about scientific method and we talked about the research. This is like the research aspect that you need to know. Like you need to know this stuff to be able to do that lab. So when I look at this, I look at kinematics, I look at velocity, I look at displacement. I said, what is a vector? What is a scalar? What is constant velocity? All this stuff that I've listed here, you should do this. This key here is not a list of definitions. This is in paragraph form. So in other words, when you're writing this, you're not saying kinematics is this, velocity is this, displacement is this. No, you need to write in paragraph form. Okay, all this connects, so it should be easy to write in paragraph form. Okay. Again, you're not really talking specifically about the lab. Like I'm not saying, our car did this and we know that's velocity. You're just generally like, what is this stuff? You're basically teaching a lesson with this section on the stuff that I put here. Now, every lab, I'm not going to put this stuff here, but you should see like this is all the stuff we would need to know to be able to complete the Father Brown constant velocity lab. For this lab, maybe like a page long. Like you're allowed to put pictures, graphs, equations. You should definitely put equations in there, stuff like that. Materials list, again, pretty straightforward there. Just make a materials list section, make a list of materials. This one's pretty easy because it's a virtual lab. Next, procedure. So again, procedures, the heading. Please write this step by step. So I literally want to see, look, I'll show you. I want to see this. Like, one, colon, start writing. We opened up population. Step 2. It's I want it to look like that. It needs to be complete sentences each and every time. How I tell people how to write procedures is this. This is your instructions manual. And somebody that has zero physics experience or knowledge about anything should just be able to read it and say, okay, do this next. All right, I got it. Okay, I can do that. And they're able to duplicate your experiment and get the same exact results that you get. Okay. So that's what's key. They have no knowledge. They don't even know what's going on. It's just an instruction manual. Pretty much like if you got a lab instructions from any other class, right? That's what you're used to getting. But here you're writing it. So you're writing the instructions on how to do this lab. All right, procedure. Next is data section here. So what you need in this is, so we talked already about the data table, okay? That needs to be copied and pasted in here. Then you're going to have two different graphs. You will see, okay, I know there's a lot here that we didn't talk about, but there's another video that describes the data analysis. So watch that part there. And this is all the stuff you need in the data section. Okay. It'll make sense once you watch that video with the evaluation of data. It walks you through all that stuff. But yeah, just have your data chart there and so on and so forth. Evaluation of data. This is where you kind of need to answer these questions. All right. You can show the first thing is we had a calculated value of delta X. So you need to show one calculation for delta X and have your final answer there, your averaged out answer. You got to tell me what the independent, dependent, and constants from your experiment are. Kind of got to make, why did you make the first graph? Then analyze the graph. What do you notice from that graph? How did you linearize the graph? Put the linearized graph, and then the equation. Explain what the slope means from there, and then compare your two answers. So one of the calculations, so the one from your calculation, so the average out of your calculations, and then the slope of your linearized graph. Again, this is all on the other video about data analysis. And then the last thing is conclusion and error analysis. You're going to be summarizing your findings, any suggestions on how to make it better. Basically, what are your sources of error? Pretty easy. That should be like a paragraph. Okay. So all in all, this is the first time. Use this time wisely to go over each section, write each section. But yeah, this is the format that all of our lab write-ups are going to follow, this exact format. All right.